Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mean Gene Jibo, and I'm standing here with the 2023-2024 Scorchers champion and GM of Team Ramrod, Sugar Shane Lattiser. Nice to meet you, Shane.
Hands off the goods.
Champ, thank you for granting us this time. Let me start off by saying congratulations on yet another championship win. How does it feel to be the most decorated champion in Scorchers history?
Let me tell you, Mean Gene, it feels fantastic. All these jabronis that I'm playing against are fucking trash. This is 4 straight, guys, count them, 4 straight trips to the finals, capturing 3 out of 4 victories. It's unheard of in this league. It's been a long journey, but while they were all playing checkers, drafting in our original draft for win now, I played chess, and I played the long game, and now Dynasty of Ramrod is upon us. You see these rings? Guys, 1 for each of my championship wins. You see this trophy? No name is on there more than Team Ramrod. See this belt? Custom made in celebration of my greatness. The greatest champion this league has ever seen. Personal gift from the commissioner.
But champ, aren't you the commissioner?
Don't worry about that. This belt proves that I am the best. But also, I want to take a moment here and talk about my new shirt. Everyone knows I get one every year. This year, guys, Team Ramrod's slogan is better than you. Because I am simply that, better than all of you.
Now, you've received a lot of hate from the members of your league over the season. How do you respond to all that hate?
They all want to make me a villain. They all hate. They're jealous of the talent I bring to this league. No one has dominated this league like I have. But you know, when you're in a league like this, you're this good, you become a marked man. That's why you got to protect yourself. So I brought Big Trev here, hired him to watch my back and help me carry all this hardware. I know none of you losers have that issue. Yeah. But then the disrespect really started off this season with Daltrey at the draft. This guy is one of the worst in the league. Just doesn't know what he's doing, but thinks at draft day that his team's better than mine. I don't know what he was smoking. Well, I know what he was smoking. I was there, but but you know, it started with disrespect. So we made a friendly bet, as we do every year, because Daltrey always runs his mouth. The thing is, though, Daltrey can't back it up, and of course, in regular Daltrey fashion, he fell apart early and started trading off his assets early. Didn't even make the playoffs. In this league, that's unacceptable. He's one of the most absent-minded GMs. Doesn't even know how to set his lineup. But that's where the disrespect started, and I'm done with it for now. Well, forever.
Sugar Shane, let's talk about your playoff run for a minute. I understand that even though you finished second overall, the majority of the league thought you would lose round 1 versus Team Rocket. What do you have to say about that?
More about the disrespect in this league. This guy was the winner of the Caucasaurus last year, which is obviously the last place trophy. And this guy thinks he's on my level, and they're all picking him. That's disrespect for the defending champion, I might add. But, you know, I took it with a grain of salt, because I wanted them to be upset when I beat Kyle. Just having all their hearts break, it was more satisfying. That victory was the most satisfying, because everyone wanted me to lose, and guess what? Team Ramrod, we just don't fucking lose. Kyle, you're just not good enough. Maybe next year you'll be a little bit better and be on my level. He's got some positives going. His team's not complete trash. Well, not the trashiest, but he's just not there. He's a mid-carder at best.
Now in round 2, we saw you take on Societe Pass, a rematch of last year's final. Care to reflect on that matchup?
That was a hard-fought matchup. I was kind of surprised coming from Corey. But he put up a good fight. The thing is with Corey, he's trying to become relevant again. He was our first ever champion, and since then, he's done shit. Guy hasn't had a good season in about 5-6 seasons until last year, where he won the league. To be fair, he won the regular season. But his issue is he keeps running into Team Ramrod in the playoffs. That's 2 years in a row. I crush his dreams and ruin his playoff run. Well, I wouldn't say fairly early, but I'd say fairly easily.
Now, champ, let's talk about the championship match. You took on Zvechmia Drink in the finals after he upset the top seed, Forgot About Dre in the semis. What were your expectations going into this matchup?
Well, victory, of course. Dan is just not on that level. Sure, he had a dream run, you know? He had a good draft, started off the season good, made some key moves at the trade deadline, goes into the playoffs, and he upsets the top team in the league. All Dan succeeded in doing, though, is robbing the fans of what they wanted. They wanted to see the top 2 teams in the league go head-to-head for that title. And Dan spoiled that. I mean, I was all right with it because it's an easier path to victory. I don't need to prove anything. I'm already 3-time champion. But Dan is at home right now with his head lowered in shame, as he should be, with that pathetic performance in the finals. 11-3 victory? Come on, that's the most lopsided win in league history. Pathetic.
You've mentioned teams bolstering their lineups at the deadline. What are some of the moves you made to help on your path to victory?
I made a couple key moves. I'm always on the lookout, scouting talent on other teams to see who I might be able to acquire, who might help me claim victory. There was one team that was just more generous than others. Team RKO. Sean sent me Hellebuck early in the season because you know what? He gave up. Sean realized he cannot compete with the league the way it is anymore. His team is just trash. It was time for a rebuild, so he reluctantly moved his best player to me, which I think was a great move. Thanks, Sean. And then at the trade deadline, he finally got rid of Ovechkin. He's been holding on to this guy since the original draft. We've been telling him, like, it's time to let go. Get something what you can. He was having a subpar season. The guy was just down. He hated being part of Sean's team. Guy told me, you know, like, I want to win a championship. It just won't happen on this team. So I pulled the trigger, acquired Ovechkin at a reasonable price. He was having such a bad year, but then once he changed over to Team Ramrod, his season picked up. This guy, his morale boosted. I told him, we're going to win a championship, and then we did. Keep my promises to Ovechkin, not like you, Sean.
Das Vidania, Sean.
The league was the most competitive it's ever been, but clearly some of the teams aren't up to par. Could you give us your thoughts on the teams in the league?
I would be glad to.
Let's start at the bottom. In this league, it doesn't get worse than Wild Husky hockey.
You got that right, Mean Gene. It does not get worse than this guy. 2 out of the last 3 years, he finished dead last. He is the first 2-time holder of the Caucasaurus. This guy is pathetic. He's so absent-minded. We have a running joke in this league. You might have heard of it, the Braden bye week. Well, it just means you play against Braden, it's a free win. Guy is so absent-minded. He doesn't know that he didn't know until recently that this joke was going on. And this has been going on for about 4 or 5 years now. We've been talking about actively in the chat. This guy is just not there. He's just an absent GM. But I got a promise for you all. We don't tolerate that here in Scorchers. So the champion here is promising that if Braden doesn't get his shit together this season, he will be out of the league after the next season.
We Have Fantasy Football is over near the bottom of the league as well.
That's no surprise. This is a former league champion who's fallen off hard. This guy is just not around. You know, he concentrates on football, hence the name Fantasy Football is over. We don't see this guy until, we see him at the draft, we won't see him again until trade deadline when he has to sell all his assets because his team just isn't winning games. Guy needs to get his head in the game though if he wants to regain his former glory, but I don't see it happening.
Derek, you're a loser.
You heard it from Big Trev.
What about the NA goalie paradise?
Man, his name says it all. He is out there drafting and holding on to players who aren't even in the NHL. How are you going to win when your guys aren't producing anything for your team? This guy needs to get a clue. I know he's the newest GM in our league, so there's a learning curve. but this is pathetic. Next year, try drafting some players who will actually get you some stats. Maybe you'll accidentally win some weeks.
What about the dumpster fire?
That's another team whose name says it all. His team is a dumpster fire. I don't know how you beat me in the finals 3 years ago, Mark, but I guess every jobber gets a win once in a while. But man, your team is just shit. The only thing he's good at is losing. The guy doesn't put any time to researching players. He has crazy demands and trades. No wonder no one wants to deal with you. You can't improve that dumpster fire. Hope you draft better this year, because otherwise it's going to be another long burning year.
Did y'all try the beef?
I mean, in this league, he is one of the worst GMs. And not because he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows the players. He likes to draft. And then he likes to trade everything away before his season even got going. This guy has no clue. He is the most absent-minded GM besides Braden. This guy regularly forgets to set his lineup. How do you expect to win? You know what? In fact, it's his fault that I made it to the finals a couple years ago, because in the playoffs, he didn't set his lineup. This guy doesn't deserve to be in this league, but he's a nice guy, so we keep him around because it's fun to beat on him. You know? His team, though, what his team really is lacking is soul. His team has no soul, and that's just part of him being a ginger.
Overcooked, underdone.
What about Captain Crunch?
Oh, everyone knows my beef with Domo. But you know what? He was a part of my championship victory. He got me this ring when I beat him in the finals. But since then, he's done nothing. This guy goes into the league every year, into the draft, makes a bunch of picks. Every week, he's trading everything just to get man games to try and sneak out a win. That's not a long-term solution. Everyone knows my feelings on this. You're playing to get points to sneak into the playoffs. Well, some of us, we build teams to win championships. We trade for players that we're going to use all season. We hold on to them. We don't just move them every week to try and get a sneak away a victory. That's not a real team. This guy frustrates me. But you know what? They say he's having fun. Let him have fun. I'll let you have fun. Meanwhile, I'm winning championships, building my legacy, and spending your money.
And Team RKO?
This guy has fallen on hard times. He used to be one of the top teams in the league consistently. Obviously, he's not there anymore. It's trash. But you can still hear him claiming, oh, if COVID didn't happen, I would have been a champion. You know what, Sean? COVID did happen. The season was canceled, and we all know I had you on the ropes in that playoff series when the season got canceled. So you can claim your false victory, but no one remembers almost winners. They only remember the actual winners. 3 times, Sean. 3 times more. 3 more than you will ever win.
What about Patches a Hooligan?
This guy should be better. Should be better. He drafts well, he has a good team, but he's a guy who just, he took lessons from Daltrey. He messed up once or twice this season, didn't set his lineup. And those points cost him a playoff berth. But it's all right. Patches, the last couple times you made the playoffs, you were just an easy first round victory for Team Ramrod. Save you the trouble now. You get a better draft pick next year.
Thoughts on Mentally Bedarded?
This guy took him 9 seasons to earn one of our GM's respect. Nick finally said it in the chat this year. You finally earned my respect. There's a reason. This team is mismanaged and has been for years. I know, in this day and age, where's the heart? Not with him, that's for sure. I can sum up his incompetence in one word, and everyone knows that word, is clef bomb. That was the biggest blunder anyone's ever made in this league. He's righting the ship he's righting the ship right now. It's hard to go wrong when you draft Bedard, who's going to be the next superstar. But right now, at this point, he's still mid-carder at best. You go hang around all the other jobbers in the mid-card. We'll see you in a few years when you're ready for this.
And what about Team Rocket?
Well, we talked about him a little bit. We'll talk about him a little more because fuck that guy. Everyone knows he's usually my co-host on the show of late. But I'm not going to take it easy on him. This guy's ass is sore from riding the Caucasaurus all last year. I hope he uses that as motivation, though, so that way he doesn't finish last again. But I don't know. I heard he really liked that trophy. But he did make the playoffs this year. This guy was all over the map, selling, buying. Eventually he made the playoffs. He wanted a seat at the big table with the adults. You're not ready for that yet. You go back to the kids' table with all those other fucking trash bags.
Team Rockets blasted off again.
In Scorched Earth?
Travis is the most unstable GM in this league. This guy will pick up a player, he'll trade him or trade for him, or draft him. He'll get all hard for him. He'll be so excited. He'll name his team after him. Plays bad for 2-3 games. Guy's gone. This guy, it's a running joke. We usually have a bet to see what week will Travis sell by. And you know what? This guy has outdone himself this year. He's already started selling his keeper players from next year. He gets to keep 5 players in the offseason. He already has deals in place for after the draft to move these guys out for future draft picks. He's given up before it even started. That's okay. He's smart. He's the wisest one. Because he knows he can't compete with Team Ramrod. He's going to bide his time and hope for weakness, but it's not coming.
Soroka and D's nuts?
Another former champion, still trying to reclaim his glory days. This guy, he's a constant contender, I'll give him that. He drafts well, he has a good keeper base. He's one of the more consistent GMs in the league, but he just can't get the job done. I can hear him now. Oh guys, my injuries, all my players are all hurt in the playoffs. Suck it up, Neil. I had injuries all year long. I played the first 3-4 months of the season with 4 guys on the IR. Well, I mean, we only have one IR spot. The rest were dead roster spots. He just can't get it done. He's just making excuses. You know what? I think you need to take a little blue chew. It might help you get across the finish line once in a while.
And Saucier Pass?
I think you mean Saucier Trash. This guy's franchise has been spinning its wheels forever. He's been trying since year 1 to get back to the top of the mountain. But every time he gets close, Team Ramrod is there to slap him back down where he belongs. This guy, I don't know. I don't know if he has a bright future or not. You know, we'll see what he does this season. But he needs to pick his shit up. He just doesn't realize, though, Team Ramrod has the favor of the hockey gods. All praise, McJesus.
And Svech me a drink?
This guy blew his only chance to actually win. His team will never be better than it was this year. He had such a great draft, picking everyone essentially before the 3rd round was over. He had an advantage. The thing is with Dan, he's too cheap to pay the price sometimes to get the player he needs. He eventually paid the price at the trade deadline. Good for him. But then, his guys did nothing. They brought him to the finals, they beat Nick, but they weren't man enough to come against the champion and take away my championship. Just, Dan, I hope you do better next year. I know it's going to be a rough year. You're going to have to actually start making some trades with these people, start building some relationships. Because really, if there's someone that's more hated than me, I hear it's you.
And finally, forgot about Dre?
We saved the best of the losers for last. All season long, I had to endure all these people just riding Nick's dick about everything. Oh, he's the best. He's the top team. He's tied the best season we've ever had. Well, guess where he is now? At the bottom with all you fucking jobbers. The nerve. This guy at least should have had what it takes to make it to the finals so I could beat him man to man and show him why I'm the best.
That was a great rundown of the competition in this league. Thanks, champ. Any closing words?
Everyone knows I am the best there is in this league, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. All these competitors in this league will be lining up for years to try and stop Ramrod's reign of terror. But the Ramrod dynasty is in full effect, boys, and there will be no mercy from the champion going forward. Big Trev, let's get out of here. Top guy, out.
Uh-oh. There you have it, folks. The reign of Ramrod continues and it appears to be unstoppable.